We're live. You can go.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Mompreneur Mondays with myself, Angela Bell from the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur. And joining us today is Alicia Marcos Barong. Alicia, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm so excited to be on the show today and talk about a great discussion.
Absolutely. So Alicia's joining us today as a special guest, as Hannah had some other business to attend to. And this is a really great opportunity because Alicia has a lot of experience in what we're going to talk about today, which is how to get rid of mom guilt. And mom guilt is one of those things I think all of us can very quickly draw upon an experience where we felt guilty about either something we're doing or not doing, or something that we've got going on in our lives. And essentially, mom guilt is when we feel bad or shame ourselves or internally judge ourselves based on a perceived belief about what we should or should not be doing as it pertains to being a mom. So, Alicia, why don't you get us started here with, how can we get rid of mom guilt?
Well, when I was thinking about this, the first thing I want to say about mom guilt is it your guilt or is it connected to your mom? How many of us say, oh, I'm never going to do that. My mom did it. And all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, I'm doing it, And so it becomes a situation of, is it based on your guilt in your family, or is it based on the guilt that you had with your own mom? In your transition of being a kid, of being a teenager. And I think that the first thing that we want to look at is that, when you feel guilty about something, is it the same guilt that mom had that she gave to you? And you're passing it on, because that right there is a big key. So first we want them to examine what that guilt is.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be my first statement.
Yeah, I really like that approach because, a similar spin, I always talk to people about, looking at the guilty feeling and asking themselves, is it because where is this guilt coming from? Is it coming from inside of me, or is it coming from outside of me? Right? So is it that I'm not aligned with my personal values and choices and beliefs? Or is it that it's coming from externally, and I've internalized society's values or social media's beliefs about what I should be, or, the doctor's ideas about what I should be? So, because we're so inundated with, other people's opinions and, social media and these Pinterest perfect pictures of people, that oftentimes, we forget about our core values and what we are striving to be and do and create with our families.
Exactly. I agree with that. And so because of that, for Mother's Day this past year, I wrote some qualities of a mother that makes a great mom. Mm-hmm. And so I think that if I can share those qualities with all of you, it will kind of put you in a perspective of a guideline to be able to look at yourself with a mom, as a mom. The first one is patience. You're like, if you have patience with yourself, you're less likely to yell or say something that you might regret, especially when it comes to crunch time in the morning. You're needed to get out the door and everything, and you all of a sudden go, psh, and that begins your day. And when that happens, that child goes with that statement, and you go with that guilt all day. So preparing yourself in the morning first to be able to prepare so that you can have that patience to send those kids off in the right perspective. So that would be my first thing. The next one is respectful. Are you respectful to yourself? First we need to be respectful for ourselves before we ask it for our kids. And I'll tell you, especially if you're raising teenagers, that's the big clincher, because they give it back. Well, you said such and such. So being respectful for yourself as a mom, is really important, and not losing sight of where you want to go, where you want to go in business, where you want to go as a mom, wherever you want to go. And so being respectful for yourself is respecting everything about you, the complete 100%. This is who I am as a mom. When you do that, the guilt doesn't come in. It doesn't stick with you. It's like, I'm doing this. This is who I want to be. This is the road I'm on, and we'll make adjustments. The other thing is being humble. How humble are we with our kids? When our kids say, especially, well, you really messed this one up, Mom. Well, it's okay to say, you know what? I did. Will you give me another opportunity to correct this and make it different? Being strong, in every part that you can be. And being strong doesn't mean that our kids can't see us being vulnerable. Right. They can't see us cry. They can't see us get upset about something. That shows strength more than, just, well, I'll manage this. No. You know what? I need to look at this. I need to listen. I need to think about it. Being empathetic to them and to yourself and to the people around you. All of these things that I'm saying are the things that we look for in our Chatter Girl program for our young girls. But I feel like that if we teach them now, they're going to be great moms because they already have those foundations. The next one is authoritative. You are the one in charge. And don't forget that, especially with our teenagers. But I see some 3-year-olds throwing tantrums, and they think they're in charge. Don't panic. Calm yourself down. If you need to walk away from it, walk away from it. Let your husband stand over there and deal with it for a minute. And don't walk away with guilt. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not a good mom. No. Remember, it takes that breath to change the perspective. And the other one is supportive. If you are supportive to your children, but also ask for their support as a mom, you're going to be a great mom. So those are some of the qualities that I see that moms need to have to let go of that guilt. Go down your checklist. I'll be happy to type those into our chat for today. But those qualities will eliminate a lot of the guilt.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, those are really key qualities to have. I know for myself, when I'm working with my clients about helping them move through, mom guilt so that they can focus on their business without, feeling like it's taking away from their ability to be the mom they want to be. I actually teach a technique that's really based on, Byron Katie's work, and, Tony Robbins has adapted it. And that's this idea that, mom guilt actually stems from limiting beliefs, right? And so if you take an example of when you feel guilty. So first thing I often have my clients do is make a list, right? Before they start the project, make a list of all the things you do for your kids, right? Do you wake them up in the morning, get them breakfast? Do you give them a hug? Do you pack their lunch? Do you take them to school? Do you help them with their homework? You know, everything you do, big or small, right? Do you know that they really don't like butter on their bread, and so you always make sure there's no butter on their bread, that sort of thing. And then you set that aside. And then you take whatever example you've come up with where you feel guilty. So maybe it's, I know for me, hopping on calls midday or in the evening to either work with clients or do videos or record for the podcast and TV show. I used to feel really guilty about it. And so I would take that and I would say, okay, this is how I feel. And then you write down what you tell yourself when you feel that way. So do you tell yourself that you're a bad mom for taking time away from your kids, or what is it you tell yourself? And once you've got that down, look at it and ask yourself, is this true? But don't stop there, because your ego is going to kick in and say, of course it's true. But you want to ask yourself a few more questions like, do other people believe this is true? Does my husband or partner believe it's true? Because often a lot of this guilt comes from gender socialized norms, right? So that we should feel this way because we are women. And once you've kind of looked at it from, you know, do other people feel this way, or would other people feel this way in this situation, especially, you know, my husband or someone else, you want to say, okay, how do I feel when I tell myself this, or what do I experience in life? And now you've gotten kind of to the bottom, and then now you're going to look and say, how would I feel or experience life if I didn't feel this way? Right? So imagine differently.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to kind of flip it on its head and write the opposite. So instead of, I'm a bad mom because I take time out from being with my kids so I can work on, you know, building my online empire, I flip it over and say, I'm a good mom because I am showing my kids what it's like to be passionate and dedicated and, you know, committed to something that matters to me. And then finally, you want to take a look and around and say, okay, can I find 3 examples in my life where this is a good quality, where people have said, hey, it's really great that your kids can see you going for that goal, right? Because now you're building new support for this new idea. And then once it's all done, you want to pull out that list you made at the beginning and read through it again and remind yourself of all the things you do for your kids. And then the reason we do that at the beginning is because we want to do it before we start thinking about the guilt stuff, right? Before we start getting down on ourselves. But using this technique, you can actually change that limiting belief, because you tear it apart and then you rebuild a new belief with support, right? And it helps you to kind of push through it. And I think you and I can both agree, it's not kind of a one and done sort of thing, right? You got to work through it and work on it, but it does get easier the more you practice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of the things that you've talked about, I do with the words that we did before. So it's, you know, it's a good combination of both of the statements that we're giving them. We're giving y'all a really good guideline. And reality is, it's a situation of, you are all good moms. And a lot of you are good moms and entrepreneurs. And I really agree with you, Angela. It is a situation of, we're giving our children an idea of what are the possibilities for them and what are the possibilities that they see the reward as we work hard. And I do think that we go to the places of, you know, of the guilt and everything, and we do. But when we look at it, you know, and bring in the other perspectives, it begins easier to let it go. And all of it is with practice. It's, you know, just reminding ourselves, you know, but I was really supportive with my child when they had this and stuff. Is it okay to ask the same from my child? And when you see that, a lot of times the guilt goes, because that child isn't giving you that guilt. You're giving it to yourself. Unless they're a teenager, and that one's another story on another day. Right. But only because you're showing them an example that is not right, and that's it. So we are the mirror for our children of what a successful mother looks like, and one who really cares about their family, but also is balancing everything, work and entrepreneurship. But no, it's not easy, but absolutely what you say is, it all takes work. And just, we've given you all some guidelines and some ways to be able to, take it on and just keep on practicing.
Absolutely. And yeah, I would highly recommend, if you are struggling with mom guilt right now, especially, while working on your business, rewatch this video, because the information Alicia and I have just shared here, if you put the two together and you really work through it, you can feel better. You don't have to feel guilty all the time. The idea that mom guilt is something we all have to carry because we became mothers is, again, it's a limiting belief that has been perpetuated on social media, but we can live without it. So definitely, rewatch this again, take notes. Alicia and I'll drop some resources in the comments, so that you can work on it. But you're welcome to reach out to either of us as well if you need some help.
So, yes, be true to yourself.
So Alicia, before we sign off here, where can everybody find you if they want to talk with you some more?
You can find me on our website at guidedchoices.net, or you can find us on Facebook. We have a Chatter Girl page and a Guided Choices page, or LinkedIn. But I'm available to talk more about this amazing subject and many more having to do with your children. I'm a pediatric life coach, and I deal with families all the time. So it was a great opportunity to be able to talk with Angela today.
Wonderful. And you can also catch Alicia on my podcast, The Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur. We do have an episode we did together. And I am, again, happy to connect with all of you. You can reach me on my website, angelabell.ca, Facebook, Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur Group, or Instagram, i.am.angelabell. And, we've got a lot of fun things coming out. So keep your eyes on Alicia and I, because we're here to help you grow.
I'm also on She Rises on Wednesday mornings, and I have a podcast then at 11 o'clock Central Time. And I'm always talking about different subjects, and we have a number of people coming on. I'm hoping Angela will come on our podcast too, and we can talk about some other things. But check us out. We're here to help you on your journeys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.